welcome along to part 6 of my 4K collection series. In my last part I left off with the letter S. It's time to start on the letter T. It's good that I know that, at least you know that I know the alphabet. Okay, so the first one is a one that I wouldn't have said that I would ever picked up, but I heard a good review about it. They reckon the picture quality was good, so I thought I'll give it a shot. My wife liked the original run of these films, so we checked out the new Tomb Raider, and I do hear they're making a new one of this as well. Now, I must admit, after about the first 15 minutes, I thought, what on earth are we watching here? I didn't really get it at all, but when it went into the sort of Tomb Raider bit where they went into the jungle and all that type of thing, it really said it came to life, and actually it was quite a good film at the end. It's not great, don't get us wrong, but for a Tomb Raider film in that ilk, it's a good film. And also the picture quality in here is absolutely stunning. It's one of the best ones I've ever seen, if I'm honest. And I didn't think I would get that, although I did hear good things about it. I never thought it would be that good. It also has Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. So I would imagine you would get this one very cheap at this point. So if you want something that's very much eye candy, but do throw your brain away before you watch it. It is quite a daft film, but in essence, it's a good film. It's a great film for HD or quality, or 4K quality even. So highly recommended, but more for that eye candy aspect. The next one was the one I was interested in because my good friend John at Movie Collector mentioned this title and said it was one of the best ones he'd seen. And funny enough, I'd never seen this film before because I stated in one of my previous videos that I'm not really a big fan of Tom Cruise, but I thought, well, maybe now it's time to see this film. So it's Top Gun. Now, I must admit the film is very 80s, it's very cheesy in its delivery, but the picture quality on the outdoor scenes I found to be absolutely amazing. The sound quality on here, which has got to be, yes, Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision, it's got to be one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard for the fact of, you know, the dogfight with the planes and all that. It's something it's to behold. It's just, wow, it's all over the place. The indoor scenes I did find to be a bit grainy, but as me and John had a discussion about it, he said it could be a bit more noisy, and that was a good way of putting it. It seemed to be a bit more, there was things in the picture that was not putting you off, but it was a little bit of something going on, and that detracted from me putting this. If this had been like the outdoor scenes all the way through, I would have said this is well up there in top 3. But I think it brought it down a little bit in my estimations, but not taking anything away from it. It is the best it's ever looked, and to me it's a definite uptick from the Blu-ray, which I checked the Blu-ray out on this set. Like I say, I hadn't seen the film before, but I did enjoy it. I've got to say, but unfortunately the indoor scenes took the picture quality down, the level down for me, just that touch on my estimations on it. Okay, and we're back. So the next one is Toy Story. Now, Toy Story, I've got to admit, is one of my favourite films. Like, my favourite. It's not, I didn't get it because my son got it and I watched it because of that. I got it because I wanted to watch it, because I was always a fan of computer-generated films. And when these came out, they were just the next level. So I had to see them. I got them on VHS, on DVD. And then my son started watching them, so I've watched them 1,000 times with my son. But also, as well, when I knew when they come out in 4K, I wanted to get them on there to have the ultimate viewing pleasure with these films, because some of them are just phenomenal, and I do think they're a great film anyway. So my wife says, well, my son's not going to watch them anymore. I said, well, they're not for him, they're for me. So she'd give us a bit of a look. But anyway, so I got Toy Story, and I have checked these out, and they do look great. And it's funny because Toy Story, even though it's an amazing film, an amazing achievement back in '95, you can see how far they've come in their abilities to make these films seem more lifelike all the way through them. So then that's the last one, Toy Story 4. The detail is just phenomenal. But for me, I think Toy Story 2 is my favourite one out of the whole lot. I think, and the picture quality here looks absolutely amazing. It's probably, I don't know why it's my favourite one. I just think it just flows better than any of the other ones. I think it's got more story to it. I think the characters in it are just that little bit better. and I think it's got the opening intro scene is just something you just can't believe you're seeing, you know, for the detail and all that. So I really recommend this as my favourite Toy Story film. Also, of course, I had to get the series, so I got Toy Story 3, and we went to the cinema to see Toy Story 4, the pair of us, me and my wife, and there wasn't many, actually there was quite a lot of adults in there as well, because I think a lot of adults will like this series, you know. And I do think that should Toy Story 3 have finished it? At the time I thought yes, and then when I saw Toy Story 4, I thought, well, that's a good ending to it. Although I do think they can get more stuff out of it. The people are still around. These CGI people aren't going to age, are they? But you never know, they might have wrapped it on the head. But I think because Toy Story 4 was a big hit, would they go back to it? I wouldn't be surprised if they do, but I don't know where they would go from this. But then again, this one was a good one in itself, very entertaining. So I do recommend the Toy Story films. I've got to say, they do look really good, and I think that most of the CGI films or the computer graphic films that I've seen, computer animated films, they do look excellent on 4K. And I would probably, if I like the film, I would probably buy everyone on 4K, because for me, they do benefit. They can really, the brightness of them can just be next level. The HDR works really well with these computer title films. I'm saying the wrong word, computer this, computer that, but anyway, you know what I mean, don't you? Them ones. I do think that these are more not aimed at adults, but I think adults can get a lot of enjoyment out of these ones as well. There's a lot more comedy than just like, you know, stuff for kids. Some of these movies are very kid orientated, but these ones, they've always got that bit of extra thing that can get you adults, because obviously an adult's got to sit through it with the kids 1,000 times a day. The next one I got was, well, not the next one I got, but the next one on the list is Thor Ragnarok. Now, at the time, I didn't realise that this was, I didn't know anything about the director for this films, and it's Taika Waititi, and he directed he wrote and directed the amazing Jojo Rabbit, which is amazing. I love that film, and he's injected most of that off-the-wall humour into this film here, which I think works really well. It's got some really strange comedic parts in it, which you wouldn't find in most films, apart from Guardians of the Galaxy, which I do like. And as well, the 4K on it looks absolutely amazing. I got it because it was cheap, and I got it because I heard it was great things about it, because some of the Marvel Universe things can be a bit hit and miss. We do like them, but some of the ones that can seem, we're not really that keen on them, but we haven't got them all. But this one here was one of the ones where I thought, well, we'll have to get this one and check it out, because it's, and I was really impressed by the fact of it injecting that much comedy into it. I think it worked really well. Plus, what a slipcase. So yeah, so speaking of slipcases, this next one I got, I mistakenly thought it had a slipcase in its eBay description, and it didn't. That shows you should never order a Blu-ray in the middle of the night, a 4K in the middle of the night, and it's us. I did have to go and buy it again with the slipcover on it. The slipcover on the actual disc on the other one didn't look that great, actually, and it wasn't that expensive. So I have spent about £17 getting this title where it is. And I mean, I keep going into HMV, it's never there. Of course, what happens? It's in the 2 for $15. It's got a slipcase, and the slipcase is in excellent condition. And also, there's one just sold on eBay, which looks even better than this, for £8.50. So, you know, sometimes you don't win. You just, you get stuck. But I did really want this film, and I've got it now, so I can move on. My quest is finished. But the picture quality on here is stunning. The HDR on here is absolutely amazing. The skin colours and everything just really come to life. You can really see in the picture. You can see there's a lot of dark scenes in it. There's a lot of vibrant white light scenes. There's a lot of colour in the colour that where there's got some bright yellows and all that. So it's a great film as well. I did prefer it to Get Out. I thought Get Out was all right, but I think it sort of fell flat at the end, whereas this one, the ending is what makes the film for me. So I do highly recommend this, but the 4K and it looks really nice. The HDR is just works a treat on that film. The next one I got was one that I didn't really need to get because I had it on Blu-ray, but I saw it 2 for 20 quid in HMV, and I thought, why not? I'll have an upgrade. So this Zombieland, it always looked good on Blu-ray, but the 4K looks not a huge amount different, but it looks that just a little bit better, a little bit crisper, a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more sharper. And for £20, for £10, you know, nice slipcover, it didn't really break the bank. I thought, why not? And because with that, I got the second part, which I'm interested in seeing. So that's the reason why I picked up the first two, and the two parts, and I thought, well, I'll get them, and then I've got them, and then that's that. And it's sometimes you do that when it's just a cheap sort of like purchase. But the picture quality on this one looks a little bit better than the first one. Obviously, it's 10 years difference, and I don't know about this film at all. I have heard mixed things about it, but I did like the first film that much, and I've watched a little bit of this one. I did like what I saw. So for me, it might not be the best zombie film ever, but I do like the spin that they put in Zombieland movies. I really do. And the last one I got, although it's a little bit out of sync with this one, or the last one on this video, is Valerian, which I got purely on the recommendation. It was an excellent picture quality. I have looked at the start of it, and it does look really nice. And it was only $5.99. It was shrink wrapped. It was really good. There's only one little bit I just noticed on there, but that's neither anything. If it's on the shelf, you would never know. And I've heard mixed things about it. I know that Keith and Euphoria Pictures had said that it's the lead two actors who are good actors in their own right. I do like the stuff that they've been in. I've seen them in. It's one of them ones where they didn't seem to sort of be into the movie. They were a little bit lackluster and a little bit doer. But that being said, I'm going to give it a whirl. I want to see what it's like. It is, although I was saying on my last video, or one of my last videos, I haven't got a clue who directed it. And who's that? Luc Besson is there staring us in the face. It just shows you how blind I am. But never mind. I am interested in seeing this, but if it's not that good, it might be one of them ones where you buy it, it's not that good, you resell it to CEX and you get more than you paid for it. So that's another thing. Not that I'm here to make a bazillion pound on reselling stuff, but at least you know that if you pick one of these up and they're not that good, you can always get rid of them. There's always somebody going to buy them because they're 4K. They have at the moment got a good resale value. So yeah, to recap then, and my strategy for buying 4K films, it's usually first, does it look any good? I'll go on a comparison sites, or maybe like DVD Compare, or look online and see if anything on YouTube says this is a great picture quality, or it's a terrible picture quality, it's a terrible upgrade. Don't bother. And there's plenty out there that you should not bother with, and you might be able to save yourself a lot of money by just researching and thinking, as I did. I thought, well, there's a few that I did fancy, and then I heard they were really poor in the quality. Well, not poor, but they weren't an upgrade over the Blu-ray, so I just stuck away from them. Terminator 2, all that type of thing. And so that's one thing that I look for. Another one is, obviously, do I like the film? Do I think that I will like the film? Do I think that it's one that is one I'm going to re-watch? I'm not going to get one and go, that was all right, and then never ever watch it again. I know there's a few films in here that obviously will take a lot of watching to watch every single thing in here, but most of the things in here I've got for rewatchability. There's not much that I just say, well, I like certain things and I've got everything by them, but I've never got no intention of watching any of them. I try to stick away from that. I try to stick away from double dipping if possible. Usually if I get the 4K, the Blu-ray gets sold. Unless there's some kind of thing on the Blu-ray that I can't get on the 4K, like Evil Dead. Evil Dead has a lot of it's good, the 4K, don't get us wrong, it's about the best you can ever see it, but it's got no special features on it whatsoever. That's why I've got to keep the Blu-ray for it, because that's where all the special features are, the UK Blu-ray. But that's just what happens, and if I've got to do that, I've got to do that. There's no reason to get rid of my Blu-ray and have no special features whatsoever, because even though I don't watch them all the time, I do like the thought of having them if I wanted to go back to them, because obviously you can't just go onto Sky Movies and get all the Blu-ray special features for Evil Dead, because you just can't get that. Even sometimes on streaming, I'm not too sure if you can get things where you can get these makings of and that, the stuff that they show on Blu-rays. So as well, the price, I like to get the price. I'm not in the market of getting them at a stupid low price, but I think £10 or under is a good price for ones that you think, well, like this one, it's someone I wanted to see, I'm interested in it, but I'm not going to pay full price for it. If someone said to me, you can have this for £25, it's not going to happen. Most of me films that I do like, me top rate, you know, they say if Jaws was £25, I would pay £25 for that, even though I only paid 20. It's a bit horses for courses, but I would not say that you're going to break, if you're going to get into 4K now, you don't have to break the bank on it. You've just got to be a bit cute. You've got to be a bit research your stuff. Maybe buy the ones that are, if you want to buy a few, buy some of the ones that are highly recommended, because it'll probably be a cheaper price now. And the ones that you wanted to get, they'll come down in price in the future, and you can get them at a cheaper price. So I think a lot of people think that 4K is going to break the bank, but 4K isn't going to break the bank if you do it wisely. Always look for a bargain if you can. But if you're really, really interested in buying the best ever presentation of one, like The Shining, paid £35 for it, but I thought it was an excellent price to pay for something like that, because I'd like to say, I love the film and I love the packaging. So that's, to me, yes, it's £35, but that for me is the last time I will ever buy The Shining. So in a way, I've future-proofed myself for anything more. So have I saved myself money down the line? Because the amount of money I've spent on The Shining in the past to buy every single different format or upgrade to it, or the longer cut on it, it just shows you that I have spent a lot of money on that. So there's no reason for me to say, I hope there's someone else around the corner, because I think that I would like to think that The Shining is just going to be, this is me done with The Shining, and I can move on to other things. And I like to think that sometimes you do reach the top of the tree with some titles, and because it seemed to be never ending from your VHS days to get. So if you had said that I bought my first Shining VHS in around about, I would say the 80s, and here I am in 2020 still buying that title, you probably would have been a bit, you wouldn't have believed it. But it's strange that you seem to be this far on and you're still buying a new format. I don't think these will ever get 8Ks or anything like that, and I don't think even your 8Ks will probably look much better than your 4Ks, personally speaking. So for me, I believe that this is going to be my last thing, the 4K. So that's a few sort of ways that I've dealt with my 4Ks. Or check eBay. Try and get if you're into slipcases, try and get a slipcase. But if you're not, then you don't have to be as particular as I am, because I have got some good deals, but I haven't had slipcases on, so I've missed out. And also the things like Us, I've actually paid more than I should have done, just because I was searching for a slipcase. Although I did watch that for a long time, and I unfortunately made a mistake when I went to the wrong disc, and that was my fault. So yes, I'm going to do a shout out now, and my shout out today is going to be for the channel Terror. It's Synth High. Now this channel here is run by Rob, and it is a great channel. I got told about this from a shout out from somebody who said, go and check this out, and I did. I went and had a look at it, and I tell you what, I was one of the best ones I've seen recently. So funny, so different. And he has got a lot of VHS and a lot of DVD of, I think more DVD actually, and he's got, these are some very obscure titles which I've never heard of, and I do think that some of the titles he's got, I do want to get myself. And also he's just done a video there when he's going and interviewing somebody who makes some stuff like the stuff from the film The Stuff. If you know the film from 1985, you know what I mean. And this lady has made this vegan stuff, and I've just started watching the video, so I'm interested to see what it's all about. I'm going to watch it after this. But I urge you to go to Rob's channel, Terror. It's Synth High. He's got a lot of content in there, a lot of stuff about music, a lot of stuff about these obscure horror films, a lot of comedy in it, a lot of like skits in it, a lot of bits where I find myself just having a great time with this channel. It's very entertaining, I know a lot of people who have commented in his comments have commented about the fact of his kind of whole humour in this in these videos, which I do think that that's something you can inject into your videos. You don't have to be somber or you know, not wanting to have some fun while you're doing it, because that's what it's about. You've got to enjoy this, and you can see that Rob's enjoying his channel, and I urge you to get across there and give him a subscribe and give him a like. Check some of his videos out. You'll not be disappointed. I wasn't. I just had an excellent time with his videos, and I do think that he's a great channel to watch, and I do think that these people I give shout outs to are very highly recommended in my eyes, and I would like to think that you could navigate towards them and maybe get something out of them yourself. I'm sure you will, because that's what it's about, finding out new stuff and different viewpoints from other people. And I think that this is what keeps our community going in YouTube, this whole branching out and checking out this more of this stuff. So highly recommended, Rob at Terror at Synth High. Okay, so you might have noticed that this video has been jumping all over the place. That's because I've had an itchy nose. Now, don't go saying it's that like my wife does. It's because it's massive. Well, I'm not saying I've got a nose like Michael Jackson, but I tell you what, I've been itching my nose. It's great to have hay fever when it's like raining outside, but never mind. Enough of my woes. And so that's why I've had a lot of different cuts in it, and I do think that at this moment it's 30 minutes long, but it'll probably be about 5 minutes long, because I spend half of it blowing my nose and scratching my nose. So that's my my story for today. So sorry to waffle on a little bit more, but thank you once again for watching my 4K titles. I'll link all the titles down below, the different parts, so you can go back, and if you're just looking at part 6, you can look back on the whole thing and you can get an idea of what my 4K is all about. So in essence, 4K, it's really good, but just do your homework, and I think you'll have a good time with it, and you'll not be not upset, but you'll not be disappointed with some titles that you can fall into the pitfall of thinking, well, that's not really looking any better than my Blu-ray. So I hope that's given you some information. If you look through these titles, I highly recommend all of the titles as looking really good. Some of them look exceptional, and I'm going to do my top 10, an updated top 10 4K picture qualities of all time up until now, in my own personal opinion, and from ones I've watched. I'm going to update that one from my last one I did about 2 or 3 months ago. In fact, I think it was my first video in here. And so I look forward to seeing you the next time. So you take care, and thanks again for watching.